Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming and participating in the virtual college exploration presented by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling. My name is Dave DeBoer. I'm a member of the executive committee at PACAC, and special thanks to StriveScan for powering this virtual college exploration. I'm going to turn things over now to a panel of admission experts and a student from Saint Vincent College. And I encourage you, if you have questions, you can direct those to the Q&A on your screen, and the presenters will answer them. But without further ado, I'll turn things over.
Okay, thank you. Let me get my screen ready. All right, thank you for taking the time out of your day to learn about Saint Vincent College. My name is Melissa Sobek. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions, and I recruit students from Allegheny County within the Pittsburgh area. And along with me today is my colleague, Donna Edmonds, who recruits students from Northwestern PA. And we hope you will find this session informative and helpful with your college selection. At the end of our presentation, our audience will have the opportunity to ask questions to current junior at SVC, Caitlin Sheridan. This will give you the opportunity to hear about Caitlin's college experience. You can find the Q&A button at the top or bottom part of your screen, depending on your device. So where is Saint Vincent College and who are we? We're a coeducationally nationally ranked private Catholic liberal arts college located in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles east of downtown Pittsburgh. Why should you choose Saint Vincent? Well, one of the reasons is the academic quality and excellent outcomes you will receive. Along that, you're going to receive academic advising, and you will be assigned a faculty member within your field. You will have the opportunity to do rigorous capstone research, internship opportunities, and the employment outcomes at Saint Vincent College. 98% of our students are employed in their field after graduating Saint Vincent. So you will also get to learn skills for balance, life of meaning, and purpose. With that, within your courses, you're going to receive spirituality, leadership, and a global perspective, and justice. Our total undergraduate population at Saint Vincent is a little over 1,500 students. So we are a smaller school. We have 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And personally, I like that because of the hands-on attention you're going to receive from our faculty. They will get to know you and you will get to know them. They don't want to see you fall through the cracks here at Saint Vincent. They want to make sure that you're successful in the classroom and outside of the classroom. No classes are taught by teaching assistants. 92% of our faculty hold a PhD or a terminal degree within the field. So we have over 50 undergraduate and graduate programs of study, housed in schools at Saint Vincent. We are known for the sciences, business, education, psychology, and computers, to name a few. Also, our criminal law and society program is ranked number 2 in the state of Pennsylvania and number 24 in the nation. Excuse me, I have to get water. I apologize. Okay, so our majors allow you to gain practical experience by giving you opportunities to intern, study abroad, and complete research on your own or with faculty. So if you're like what you're hearing so far and you would like to apply to Saint Vincent, here's a couple ways that you can submit an application. The first way we advise is online. That's the quickest and easiest way for you at stvincent.edu/apply. If you're looking at a number of colleges, you can use our Common App. You can use the Common App, and you will find that at commonapp.org. But if you do decide to submit the online application with Saint Vincent, and we receive it before December 1st, we will waive that application fee for you. You're going to hear the term a lot, rolling admissions, and that means you can pretty much still apply throughout the senior year. But again, an advantage to applying by December 1st, you will not have to pay that application fee, and that does add up when you're applying to a number of schools. Once you apply to St. Vincent, you have all the way until May 1st to make your final decision. And I always tell students when I'm talking to them, take your time. It's a big decision to decide where you're going to go to college for the next 4 years. So you have until May 1st. With your application, and for you to go under review, we will need your official high school transcript that you obtained from your guidance counselor. And we will also be able to email that to us as well. If you had a chance to take the SATs or ACTs, or you're scheduled to take them, you can send us your scores directly. We can use the student score report. And we also super score if you were able to take them multiple times. But if you are not able to get into SATs or ACTs yet, we do offer test optional for you. And we'll go over that in a little bit. So what are we looking for when applying to St. Vincent? Well, minimum of 15 academic units in high school. And that would be a general science, a science with a lab, math, algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry, 4 years of English, and 3 years of a social science. Now, the SAT scores and ACT scores you're seeing on the screen are just averages that came in for this past class. The 510 through 600 for the math, 520 for 630 for the English portion. ACT, we're looking at a composite score of anywhere between a 20 through 25. And then for the GPA score, the average was a 3.6. Again, we like to look at the student on a whole basis. So we're looking at everything when applying. We know not all students are great test takers, but it may show in your grades and the classes that you've taken, AP courses, college and high school courses, advanced classes. Or sometimes a student may not have the GPA, they're a little below that, but you have great test scores. So that'll balance out for you as well. Okay, test optional. If you have not been able to take the test, we understand the frustration that's happening in SATs and ACTs being canceled even the day before that you're scheduled to take them. So we do have some options for you if you would like to apply test optional. You can pick one of the 3 that you're seeing on your screen. The first one you can select is a 3 to 5 page writing sample from your junior or senior level high school course. You can answer the personal statement that you're seeing on your screen of no more than 3 printed pages, or you can do a video submission of no more than 5 minutes. And the prompt is, St. Vincent is a learning community based in academic rigor, service, and personal and spiritual growth. How do you plan to contribute to our community during your time as a student? Or lastly, you can opt for a virtual or in-person interview with the admission counselor or the dean of admission. And now I am going to turn it over to my colleague, Donna Edmonds, who's going to talk to you about the scholarships and financial aid opportunities that we offer.
Thank you, Melissa. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was having some technical difficulties, but everything seems to be fine. Thank you to everyone who is joining us. I'm going to get started with the scholarships and financial aid. I did want to remind you, if you have any specific questions, don't hesitate to drop us a question through the Q&A, and we'll get to those later on. So scholarships and financial aid, more than 100% of the class of 2020 freshman incoming class received some form of financial aid from St. Vincent College. And more than 97% of St. Vincent undergraduate students receive aid. Okay, so this is going to talk about the total cost to attend St. Vincent. So the numbers you're seeing on the screen are for this academic year, 2020 to 2021. So if you are going to be an incoming student for the fall of 2021, these numbers will change slightly. And if you are perhaps a 2022 incoming student, they will change again. So the information we're presenting is what it is as of today. So you'll see that our tuition, whether you are a commuter student, meaning you're going to live at home and commute to campus, and if you're a resident student, meaning you're going to live on campus, your tuition costs are the same. $36,586. If the room and board costs include your room, obviously, where you're going to be living on campus, and board is typically your meal plan. So if you're a commuter, those aren't automatically calculated. There is a board plan for commuters if you'd like to eat on campus, but that's not automatically billed to you. So a resident student, your room and your food would be $12,156 for the year. Required fees, slightly less for our commuter students, but so the commuter is $1,216 and the resident student $1,654. So the total, if you're going to commute to St. Vincent, $37,802, and if you're going to live on campus, it's $50,396. That is the sticker price, the full price. As we mentioned, 100% of our freshmen are receiving some type of aid. So really very few, if any, students would pay those prices that you're seeing. In addition to those costs for first year students, you will have additional costs like your books, transportation, and personal expenses as well. Okay, so how do we help you come up with that scholarship and grant money? So here is a chart that is accurate for our students who are in the class of 2021 coming in this, next fall. So you will see it's a little bit, there's a lot of information here, and I'm just going to go over it briefly for you. So you'll see there are a number of different categories that we look at for our scholarship ranges. Our top scholarship this year is our Chancellor's Scholarship. If you've taken the SATs, it's a 1360 or higher and a GPA of at least a 375. So if you are that person, you would automatically receive a scholarship of $28,500 if you're going to live on campus, and if you're going to commute, it's $25,500. You'll notice the difference in all of our costs for resident and commuter is about $3,000. So there's a $3,000 resident grant. If you choose to stay on campus, you would receive that automatically. So you'll see, in addition to the SATs listed, there is also the ACT and something called the CLT, which is a classic learning test that we see many of our homeschool students are taking this exam, but it's open to any student. The beauty of the CLT exam that we found during this pandemic is there is an option to do that remotely. So if you're not able to get in to take the SATs or ACTs and you want to do a standardized exam, this may be for you, and we can give you more information if you're interested. So you'll see those different scores. You don't need all of those, just one of those exams and the GPA requirement gets you the scholarship range. So you can see that the range is, 17,000 up to 28,500, and really you could fall anywhere in between there. One thing I do want to mention, if you're on the border, you do need everything you see. So if your GPA is a 3.5, but your SATs are a 1080, you're not going to get the Dean's Scholarship. You would be getting the Faculty Scholarship. So it is a little tricky, and we don't have a slide, but we do have a way to figure out your scholarship if you are a test optional student. So if that is you, please get in touch with us and we can go over with you exactly what we're looking for the different scholarship ranges with the test optional student. We can even review your scholarship. We found that some of our students have taken some AP and college and high school classes that have brought them at a higher level than their SAT score has. So we can look at a variety of different things when we're figuring out your scholarships. So your best bet, apply and let us tell you, what the next step would be. Okay, so in addition to those merit scholarships, and I did want to mention that those scholarships I talked about are automatically awarded when you apply and are admitted for St. Vincent. So you don't have to really do anything to get those other than show us your academic preparation. So your SATs and ACTs and GPA or your other academic preparation is going to determine that scholarship. And as we mentioned, the top award for this year is $28,500. You would receive that scholarship every year. That's something I definitely wanted to point out. For our scholarships, you do not need to maintain a super high GPA your first semester to keep that scholarship. We want you to be able to stay at St. Vincent and not worry so much about, getting a 3.5 GPA or something like that. So, you will receive that scholarship each year as long as you're making academic progress with us. So that's our top scholarship. We also have first generation college grant that's awarded to students whose parents have not attended a four-year college, and we can talk to you to see if you would be eligible to receive that if you feel like you're a good fit for that scholarship. If you attend a Catholic high school, we have a $2,000 per year Catholic high school grant. Out of state is probably not going to apply to anybody listening to this presentation because you're probably from the state of Pennsylvania. But the good thing about that is you may be eligible for some need-based scholarships, like a Pennsylvania state grant, which could be even higher than what we give our out-of-state grant students. There's other scholarships you'll see here. There's some specialized scholarships, STEP, Aurelius Scholars, Fred Rogers. There's a couple other ones that we have more information available on our website, and we will be in touch with you. If you apply, we will let you know all of the different scholarship opportunities. And as I briefly mentioned, regarding the Pennsylvania State Grant, we do look at need-based financial aid for our students. So if you file a FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, and list Saint Vincent College, we can let you know what other aid you may be eligible to receive. And today is October 1st. So believe it or not, you could actually apply for the FAFSA today if you're a senior in the class of 2021. You certainly do not have to go and file the FAFSA today, but we would encourage you to get that to us before March, just so we have time to process it and get you all the information you need before you need to make a decision. Okay, here's a great scholarship opportunity for students, our Wimmer Scholarship Competition. This is a competition that is for St. Vincent only. So for students who are interested in coming to St. Vincent, if you meet certain criteria, you're eligible to come and compete for a full tuition, room and board scholarship for 8 semesters, which would be for 4 years. So you can see that that scholarship is worth over $194,000. Trust me when I say your parents will be delighted if you happen to be the #1 winner, because almost all of your college expenses will be covered. If you don't place, if you're not the #1 student, but you place 2nd through 5th, you will receive a full tuition scholarship for 8 semesters. So that's another wonderful opportunity for students. If you, are thinking this may be something you would like to apply for. To be eligible to take this exam, you need at least a 3.75 GPA and a 300 on the SAT, a 28 on the ACT, or an 86 on the CLT. So I will just give you, I know what the test optional criteria is. You would need a 4.0 GPA and at least 6 AP or college and high school classes throughout your high school career to be eligible if you do not have the SAT requirement there of the 1300. Okay, and I didn't mention this, but we're planning to have that Wimmer scholarship on December 5th, which is a Saturday, and more information is going to be available very soon. So look for information on our website, or we'll be directly mailing you information about how to register for the Wimmer exam. Okay, so here's some other helpful financial aid and scholarship information. As I mentioned, today's the day. You can start applying today. And if you're in Pennsylvania, then you definitely want to get your FAFSA in before May 1st. And the reason for that is if you apply after May 1st and you would have been eligible for a Pennsylvania state grant, you will not receive it. So we don't want anybody to miss out on an opportunity. So we do encourage you to get that FAFSA filed before May 1st. As I mentioned earlier, we really want to have it before March. And we start reviewing those as they come in. Probably in mid-November, early December, we'll start sending out our financial aid award packages. And you ideally should be getting those from all the schools that you're applying to so that you can tell what the costs are going to be for you at each institution before you need to make a decision. You can see you can file the FAFSA at studentaid.gov. And one little tip, if you're going to file the FAFSA, it is free. So do not pay somebody to fill out the FAFSA for you. I've had people have this experience in the past. that they've paid $80, $90 to a company or somebody who said, I'm going to, guarantee you some scholarships, etc. They're not doing anything that you couldn't do by yourself. So that's just one little tip. If you're going to file the FAFSA, you can do that at studentaid.gov and make sure you're on the correct site. Also, there may be outside scholarship information or outside scholarships that you're eligible to receive. So an outside scholarship basically is coming from another source other than the school that you're planning to attend. So the merit aid and the grants and things I mentioned previously, most of those are just coming directly from our school. So if you have opportunities to receive other scholarships, maybe from where your parents work, your local community, religious organizations, some students who have jobs, their companies can help with scholarships and things like that. Check with your high school counseling office. Usually in the spring, maybe mid-year, they'll start posting lots of different opportunities for our for students to apply for. And usually near the end of the school year is when they do an awards presentation and you find out if you've won anything. But that is definitely something you want to look into to see if you can continue, to receive other sources of aid other than just what is available to you from your particular school, hopefully St. Vincent. Also, keep in mind that you do not have to be the best student in your class to receive scholarships. You simply need to be the best student who applies and meets the qualifications. So if you don't take the time to apply for different scholarships, you're not going to get any of them. But if you do take the time and apply for various opportunities, you may be pleasantly surprised with some extra cash as you get ready to start college in the fall. Okay, so here's another great thing that I would like to talk about, that Saint Vincent College is ranked 7th best overall and 3rd best among all private colleges for degree completion. So what we're talking about here is our students are coming to Saint Vincent and they're graduating from Saint Vincent. They are finishing their degrees, and we're really proud of that. So know that if you come to Saint Vincent College, we're going to help you along the way. And our goal is not to accept you to come to Saint Vincent for 1 or 2 years. We want you to come to Saint Vincent, graduate, and be a lifelong member of the Bearcat family. Okay, our students have some wonderful opportunities, and one of them is our study abroad program. It's probably a little bit on hold right now based on what's going on in the world. But hopefully things will improve and our students can get back out there and they can study in other countries, maybe for a semester, or even over a break, over winter break or over spring break. So our students have studied all over the world, and you can see some of our students in Thailand, Panama, Iceland, Australia, and France. Okay, student life. We offer so many different activities for our students. There's 50 political, social, cultural, service, recreational, religious organizations on campus. There's tons of things to do. And we will be hearing from Caitlin shortly, who can give us some more details. Over 20% of our students are athletes, and we offer over 10 different NCAA Division III sports for men and for women. And there's also intramurals if you're interested. Next is our retention. I mentioned this a little bit before about we want you to be successful students and stay here and graduate. So this is a great statistic, and you can check this for schools that you're looking at. Retention at St. Vincent from our freshman year to sophomore year is 85%. So 85% of our students come back for their sophomore year, and you can see the national average is 68%. Okay, support services. So some of our students do need a little bit of extra help or support to do the best that they can do. So we do offer tutoring in just about every subject area, and it's free of charge. It's part of your tuition costs. We have a collaborative learning program, and that is primarily held for our students who are involved in our introductory science courses, and it really helps them make that transition. Some of those science classes are pretty challenging, so it's almost like they're meeting in groups outside of class, and really it's helping students be very successful in those courses right away. We also offer career advising, and this begins freshman year to assist with internships and job placement. 98% of our graduates are employed in their field, doing service or seeking advanced degrees within 1 year of graduation. We recently polled our class of 2019 students, and this is what we're finding. And we're typically in the, I'd say 97 to 99%, our students are very successful and they are getting jobs, they are working, they're going back to school if they want to go to med school, vet school, dental school, etc. So there's a lot of different opportunities for students. Okay, this may be the most important slide that you see today. Visit us. So we are doing in-person visits at Saint Vincent College right now. Our students are back on campus this semester. Things are going very well. And we hope that it continues. But right now, you can participate in a Bearcat Day where you can, well, maybe not observe classes in person, but you can talk with faculty and you can interact with students, and you can meet individually with your admission counselor or someone from the admission office. If there's a coach that you'd like to meet with, we can help set up a lot of different things for you. You're going to get a tour of campus. So we really recommend, if you have not had a chance to visit, and we know that it's been a challenge to get out there and maybe do some college visits, definitely make plans to make your way to St. Vincent. We take appointments Monday through Friday and some Saturdays. And we're going to be having a few information sessions on some Saturdays coming up. So we have room for people. If you want to come and check out the campus in person, I highly recommend it. Normally, our accepted students are welcome to come and stay overnight in the residence halls and attend class. That's currently on hold. We'll have to see what the second semester brings. I would say it's a 50-50 chance if we're going to be able to accommodate that for this year. But if you are, anyone over the class of 2021, perhaps that's something that we will be able to do in the future. We do ask that you give us about 2 weeks advance notice of when you'd like to come visit, and that's to help so we can plan your visit and you can do everything that you'd like to do while you're here. You can call us directly at, the information will be posted on the next slide. You can give us a call directly, or you can just visit our website to schedule a visit. There you go. There you see it right there. So you can contact us directly, 724-805-2500, or just click on that, send an email to the admission office, or just go on our website and click the button that says visit, and you'll see all the different opportunities that we have available for you. So I know that was a lot of information in a short amount of time. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to turn it back over to Melissa, and we are going to hear from Caitlin and take any questions that people may have.
Great. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it. And yeah, this is a part of the program where we're asking you to give us questions. Again, you can find that Q&A button at either the top or bottom part of your screen. Caitlin is on board to give you her perspective and to share her insights and stories of why she decided to come to St. Vincent and anything else you'd like to know. So Caitlin, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience, tell them where you are from, what year you currently are in, and what you are studying at St. Vincent College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin, and I'm from Plum, which is located about 45 minutes from campus, so I'm not too far away. I'm a junior this year, and I'm studying middle school education with a special education minor.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlin. So how about the first question that we give to you, and if you want to share with the audience, why did you decide to attend St. Vincent College?
Awesome. I actually was just talking about this earlier today. The reason I chose to attend St. Vincent was I looked at a lot of schools that were similar to St. Vincent College in a lot of ways, as far as class sizes, how far away from home it was, the program I wanted, all of those things I had already taken into consideration. And so once I looked at St. Vincent, what stood out to this campus was the community and the people. I found that everyone was so overly welcoming and really out for your best interest. And there was so much support and just smiling faces everywhere you went. It just seemed like a really warm and welcoming environment. And that's why I picked St. Vincent.
All right, great. Thanks, Caitlin.
So Caitlin, how did you choose your major? Did you have a hard time deciding what to study?
I didn't actually. I pretty much said since kindergarten that I wanted to be an education major. I loved to play school with my siblings and everything, so I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. However, during my time at St. Vincent, it really helped me discover what area of education I wanted to pursue and also my special education minor. I was able to get a lot of field experience with my like the education club and different involvement I had on campus. And that's what helped me determine what level I wanted to teach, because I had always gone back and forth between high school, elementary school, all of that. And so I was really able to get field experience and learn where I felt I was best fit, which was middle school. And then I also had a lot of opportunities, and that's how I discovered that I wanted to pursue a special education minor as well. So even though I knew that I wanted to be a teacher, it did help me determine the nitty gritty of it.
Great, thank you.
Caitlin, let me ask you this question. Since one of our specialized scholarships is the Fred Rogers Scholars, Caitlin is a recipient of the Fred Rogers Scholars, and maybe you'd like to elaborate a little bit more about that scholarship and how it is helping you pursue your degree with middle school education.
Yeah, so the Fred Rogers Scholars is a really awesome opportunity. It's not just a scholarship where they hand you money, you get a lot of unique experiences with it. And it's geared towards any degree as long as you have some interest in pursuing the lives of children and making lives of children better. So, I mean, just within my year, there's 5 of us, and some of us are education majors, but there's a psychology major, there's a biology major. We have just about, I think we have all of the schools at this point. And so there's some representation everywhere. And some of the things we do is we just try to pursue the legacy of Fred Rogers in multiple different facets. So we use his archive and we do research. That's kind of where you begin your freshman years, diving into who Fred Rogers was and what his beliefs were. And then from there, you get to create a service project and pursue it to the community, both at St. Vincent and more abroad. And then typically by your senior year, there's some big activity or community outreach that they do. I think 2 years ago, they did like a baby drive for the community. That was kind of their big closure. And so you're always working towards that. There's also a really neat work study opportunity at the Fred Rogers Center. And so with that, you get to work with the archive again and then do research for the center. And so they're constantly putting out different research on children's studies and different things, releasing pamphlets on addiction and how you can incorporate Fred Rogers' legacy into that. So there's tons of different opportunities there, but a really cool program.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that is an amazing opportunity. So again, that's a separate application. Usually do around March 15th of your senior year. Check out the website to learn a little bit more if you are planning to do a major involving children. Donna, you want to ask the next question?
Yeah, sure. So Caitlin, this question is really could be important for students to know. What would you recommend living on campus or off campus? I don't know exactly where you live, but you probably are close enough that you could commute if you wanted to. Might be a little bit far, but if you could maybe talk about that a little bit, about the choice that, what you get if, you're living on campus or off campus, and then what do most of our students do on campus?
Yeah, so I am actually currently in my dorm room, so I do live on campus, and I'm at the point where I'm 45 minutes, so it would be a little far, but I could commute if I wanted to. I really recommend that if you have the means to at least live on campus for 1 year, because it is such a different experience to be away from home and to get this college experience of living with friends and roommates and all of that. It definitely, I know that my college experience would have been much different had I commuted from home that first year. And it just makes some things more challenging, especially if you do have like a 45-minute commute. It's like, do I want to get involved in this club? Because then I won't be driving home until 10:30 at night and I have an 8:30 class. And it just makes life a little more difficult in that way. Whereas it's just like, oh, I'll go to that meeting because it's 2 minutes down the hall. I just have to walk 2 minutes and then I'm there. I will say though, if you do opt to commute, there's tons of opportunities to still be involved. We have an incredible commuter program. And one of my best friends is actually a commuter, and her fun fact on the first day of classes is that she's a commuter, because no one knows it, because she's always here. She's so involved. She's the club president of this, and she's involved in this organization and work study in this department. So she's always here. And as far as the freshman dorm goes, you'll have a pod set up, and that's really where you get that community experience your first year. And so you get to live within a pod with 15 to 21 other girls or guys, and then you have a pod prefect who organizes events and helps you get acclimated to campus. As a commuter student, if COVID wasn't a thing and you were allowed in dorms, typically you are also assigned to a pod. So you still have that living room space where you can be a part of that pod community. So either way, you do get that experience. Personally, I think it's a little easier in a lot of logistical ways if you live here. So if you have the means to do so, that's what I recommend. But if you want to commute, you don't have to worry about just coming here for class. You can still be a big part of the community. We have our activities programming board, we have our clubs, all of our events. So there's lots to do around campus.
That's what I was just going to ask you next, Caitlin. Like, what are some of those activities, especially right now that we're in the COVID world? It is a little different. So maybe if you can touch on some of the activities they're offering students, because we are in person with our classes at Saint Vincent College, what they're offering for students to do now, and other activities that they've offered in the past for students to be a part of.
Yeah, so we're trying to do as much as possible right now. Even when we got sent home last semester, so many of our clubs, our campus ministry, they instantaneously converted things virtual. We were sent home over the weekend, and by that Monday, they already had Bible study virtual. They already had bingo that following Wednesday virtual. And so they really tried to keep that community and keep people interactive even when we were home. Now that we're back on campus, it's definitely easier. And so we do have lots of virtual events going on. Bingo is one of the most popular. I highly recommend it. They have like a comedian host it, so it's really entertaining, and he interacts with you the whole time. We had a running joke about me winning a hermit crab for multiple sessions. And so he was awesome. And then you get Venmo'd up to $200 if you win. So that's pretty cool too. But aside from virtual, they are trying to do as much in person as possible, especially while the weather's nice. We've been doing a lot of things outside. I'm actually organizing a retreat that's going to be happening this coming weekend. And so as long as it's outside and we're socially distant, we're still able to do that. So there's a lot going on in that way. A lot of like intramural sports and different things that we can do outside, human battleship. There's lots of things that are still happening on campus. So it's not what it used to be. We can't travel off campus and do things like a mystery trip or bring comedians in person to campus, but they're converting it all virtual and still making sure that we can keep that community alive in as many ways as possible.
Thanks, Caitlin.
I know we're kind of winding down, but I do have a question I'd like to ask Caitlin. Is there one piece of advice you could give to a student who's considering attending Saint Vincent?
Yeah, I would say that this is advice considering attending, and if you do come here your freshman year. I think it falls under both categories, and that's don't jump to conclusions about things and just give it some time and really assess the situation. I'm the type of person who, like, I view something and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they were like, I don't know, like it's like you're in class and it's overwhelming the first week and you're like, oh my gosh, this class is going to be impossible. There's no way I'm going to do well in it. Or, oh my gosh, like this campus seems really dreary and miserable. It's not for me, but maybe it's because it's 8:30 in the morning and it's raining and that's not really what campus is like. Or maybe it's just because the syllabus is overwhelming and the professors are actually going to help you through it and it's not going to be as bad as it seems. And so communicate with professors within whatever degree you're pursuing, communicate with athletic coaches if you want to participate in a sport, communicate with the students and try to really get a feel for it and ask those questions rather than just jumping to conclusions about what you think campus might be.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, Caitlin, and probably maybe last question if we don't have any more out there. And this is a big one to say, you know, what is your favorite memory or favorite aspect of Saint Vincent College thus far in your 3 years that you've been here?
Yeah, so I don't know, it's definitely not a memory. It's more of an aspect, and it's just the people. I work here over the summer giving tours, and it's so nice to see people over the summer. But literally, my favorite part of campus is when everyone is here and you just say hello to people everywhere you walk, because it's such a welcoming campus and it's so exciting. Like, no matter where you go, you're going to see familiar faces and you're going to say hello and see people in passing and just smiles and everything. Like, it just makes me happy. Like, everywhere I go, my mom would always make fun of me because I would call her as I was like walking back to my room, and every 4 seconds I was interrupting whatever she was saying because there was somebody else that I knew. And so just having people around, and it's not just students, like you'll be saying hello to professors and the monks on campus and the faculty members and everyone you see. It's just a really warm, welcoming place to be.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for being part of our information session. And we hope that the people that are listening us to today were able to learn a little bit more about Caitlin's perspective and St. Vincent College in general. And if you do have any questions for us after this session, please feel free to contact your personal admission counselor that you can find on the St. Vincent website, or one of us will be happy to answer those. So again, we thank you for joining us today. We hope the session allowed you to learn more about the great opportunities St. Vincent College has to offer you, and that becoming a Bearcat is in your future. So thank you again.
And on behalf of PACAC, thank you again for attending. When you close out, there'll be a quick 4-question survey we encourage you to visit. We also encourage you to visit pacac.org/virtual. We have a lot more of these sessions to continue engaging with colleges in this remote space. And a recording of this presentation will be available also at pacac.org/virtual. Thank you.